Welcome back to Legion Builds, where I help bring your favorite fictional characters into games of Dungeons & Dragons. Today we're building the ultimate combo of heroic gunslinger and father figure to life, Djarin, the Mandalorian warrior tasked with protecting Star Wars' greatest gift, Baby Grogu. If we only had someone to protect Finn from horrible writing. Yes, I am still bitter about that. Let's get moving on to the coolest Star Wars character that hasn't been ruined yet. Our goals today are to create a badass bounty hunting gunslinger. This means guns and hunting. Pretty straightforward, really. Weapons are part of your religion, after all. Next, this is Star Wars, so you're getting a lot of tech. Whistling birds, jetpack, flamethrowers, powerful armor, everything. Well, maybe tech is a little bit misleading. Finally, you're getting the dark saber. We're using standard point array because badasses don't need to roll for good stats. Actually, you can roll if you want to. I just don't want to. You know how much work I do with these builds? Make it your own. You steer, I push. Simple as that. We are multi-classing, so keep a close eye on stat minimums. Let's start things off with intelligence at 15. You don't make your gear, but if you don't understand how to use it, your backside is going into the dirt. Dex will be next at 14. You like guns and armor, Dex helps with both of those. Con will follow at 13. You're in decent shape, but you're going to be dinged on health, so you're going to need all the help you can get for that. Wisdom will be a 12. You're starting to understand the universe around you and your place in it. Strength will be low with a 10. You don't really need it to shoot, and all your weapons are small and portable. Finally, we're going to be dumping charisma. Wearing armor all the time, refusing to show your face, and saying this isn't the way has really hurt your social standing. Din, like so many other Star Wars characters, is a human. Baron Human grants you a free feat with a stat adjustment. Place +1 into Dex and Intelligence. Gunner increases your Dex by 1, grants you proficiency with firearms, you ignore reload properties with all firearms, and being within 5 feet of a hostile creature doesn't impose disadvantage. If your DM doesn't allow guns or you don't want Gunner, take Crossbow Expert instead. This feat basically does the same thing with 2 exceptions. First, it doesn't give you a +1 to Dex, and it allows you to fire a hand crossbow as a bonus action if you're holding a weapon in your main hand. So you can combo the blaster and dark saber. Normally I avoid gunner because firearms aren't good in D&D, but the pistol works great for you. For your free skill, take perception. For background, grab survival and whatever other skill you want. We're going to start things off with fighter. Take the skills athletics and insight. Level 1 fighters start with a fighting style. Defense adds +1 to your AC when you're wearing armor. I would say your armor is half plate, but half plate is expensive, so save up and get it later. You're going to probably start off with chainmail, which makes your AC 17 with this. You'll want half plate later though, trust me. Second Wind allows you as a bonus action to heal yourself 1d10 plus your fighter level once per short or long rest. Time for tech, but not tech. Level 1 wizards start off with Arcane Recovery. Once per day after finishing a long rest, you can recover spell slots. These slots can have a combined level equal to half or less than your wizard level. You're also a spellcaster, starting things off with 3 cantrips and 6 spells. Now heads up, you can only prepare a total number of spells each day equal to your wizard level plus intelligence modifier. For your spells, Firebolt will be a 1d10 fire damage blaster shot at 120 feet. Light gives an object you touch the ability to shed light for up to 1 hour in a 20-foot radius, with another 20 feet of dim light beyond that. Shocking Grasp lets you tase someone or something with a melee attack that deals 1d8 lightning damage, and stops them from taking reactions till their next turn. Burning Hands is a flamethrower firing a 15-foot cone, forcing a dex save on everything within the cone, dealing 3d6 fire damage on a failure. Magic Missile fires 3 whistling birds that auto-hit the target within 120 feet and deals 1d4 + 1 × 3 force damage on a hit. You can add spell levels to add more whistling birds, which will cause more damage. Shield adds +5 to your AC as a reaction and auto-stops magic missile attacks. Detect Magic lets you scan an area for up to 10 minutes while you maintain the spell to find magical items or spells. You can see the aurora of the School of Magic on an item item or on what is being affected by a spell, but you will not know what the spell is. Gift of Alacrity makes you quick on the draw by adding 1d8 to your initiative for 8 hours. Finally, Alarm lets you set up a zone that is a 20-foot cube that warns you should anyone you don't allow cross it. This lasts for 8 hours and you can place sounds on it to actually alert everyone. Now before we move on, I know a lot of you are going to be upset we're not actually going with tech like an Artificer. Instead, we're going to just be using magic to reflavor it. But Artificers will not get us all that we need, so we're going to have to be a wizard. Level 2 fighters gain Action Surge. You can now grant yourself a free action once per short or long rest. Level 3 fighters can now choose their subclass. Champions received Improved Critical. You now crit on 19s. Level 4 fighters receive our first ability score improvement. Let's grab a feat. Medium Armor Master will improve Half Plate. You no longer have disadvantage on stealth checks when wearing medium armor, and you can add up to 3, not 2, to your AC if you have a dex of 16 or higher. This means your AC is now 19 with Half Plate. If you instead want to use heavy armor, just take something else. You're now character level 5. Firebolt and Shocking Grasp now have 2 damage dice each. Level 5 fighters now gain extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single action. This is just for attacks, not spellcasting though. Level 2 wizards gain their subclass. Time to give your armor all the properties Beskar Steel has. War Magic grants you Arcane Deflection. This allows you to add +2 to your AC when you take damage, or +4 to a failed saving throw. Once you use this feature, you can't cast any spells other than cantrips until the end of your next turn. If you aren't a nerd like me, you haven't looked into what Beskar can do, I suggest you should. It's really cool. Tactical Wit adds your intelligence modifier to initiative rolls. This means right now your initiative is +6 plus 1d8 with Gift of Alacrity. For your new spell, Jump triples your jump distance for 1 minute. Longstrider increases your walking speed by 10 feet for 1 hour. Level 6 fighters gain another ability score improvement. Let's improve your spell DC, attack, and number of spells prepared each day by placing this into intelligence. Level 3 wizards gain second level spells. For your new spells, Whole Person wraps a target in a cord within 60 feet of you should they fail a wisdom save. While you maintain this spell for up to 1 minute, they are paralyzed but can retake the save at the end of each of their turns. Darkvision grants you Night Vision, seeing out to a range of 60 feet in darkness. Level 4 wizards receive another ability score improvement. Cap off your intelligence with a 20. For your spells, Booming Blade gives you a Vibro Blade, kind of, as the weapon begins to vibrate. When you make an attack with a melee weapon, you deal 1d8 thunder damage on top of the normal damage, and should they move after being hit, they take another 2d8 thunder damage. Scorching Ray is a better blaster. You fire 3 blasts at any target within 120 feet, dealing 2d6 fire damage on a hit. You must make separate attacks per shot. Shadow Blade creates a blade of pure darkness. It has the finesse and light properties, deals 2d8 psychic damage on a hit. I know this will not cut through anything like the Dark Saber, but how many creatures have resistance to psychic damage? You must maintain the spell for 1 minute, and if you drop it or it's taken, you can just call it back with a bonus action. Level 5 wizards gain 3rd level spells. For those spells, it's time to get your jetpack. Fly grants you a flying speed of 60 feet for 10 minutes while you maintain the spell. Feather Fall stops all fall damage up to 5 creatures, including yourself, no matter the height. You're now character level 7. Firebolt, Shocking Grasp, and Blooming Blade get more damage dice. Level 7 champion fighters are now remarkable athletes. You can add half your proficiency bonus to any strength, con, or dex check you aren't proficient in. Level 8 fighters receive another ability score improvement. Bump up dex to an 18. Level 9 fighters gain Indomitable. You can now re-roll 1 failed save, including death saves once per long rest. Level 10 champion fighters now have a second fighting style. Choose between archery for +2 to attacks with ranged weapons, or dueling to add +2 damage to your Dark Saber when you're holding it and no other weapon. Up to you. Level 6 wizards of the War Magic School gain Power Surge. Whenever you use Dispel magic or Counterspell, you receive a Power Surge point, which stays with you until you take a long rest. Once per turn, you can burn a Power Surge point to add more damage to a spell equal to half your wizard level. If you end a short rest without any Power Surge points, you gain one, and you can only have a number of Power Surge points equal to your intelligence modifier. Speaking of spells like Counterspell, Counterspell allows you to interrupt a spell being cast as a reaction. If the spell is 3rd level or lower, you simply stop it from happening. If it is 4th level or higher, you must make a test to stop it. Fireball is an explosion you create within 150 feet, causing a 20-foot radius sphere to erupt. Everyone within the sphere must make a dex save or take 8d6 fire damage from the blast. Level 7 wizards now have 4th level spells. For those spells, Locate Creature allows you to find a creature that is within 1,000 feet of you. You must describe the creature or name it, and you know its location and if it's on the move. But if moving water and at least 10 feet wide is between you, the spell will not work. Levitate allows you to hover vertically, up to 20 feet, and can attack from above. Each turn you maintain this spell, you can move up or down 20 feet, but you can't move horizontally. Though if you want to look weird, you can move horizontally by swimming in the air. Good news, if this spell ends, you basically get Featherfall for free. You're now character level 17. Firebolt and Shocking Grass now have 4 damage dice, and Booming Blade has 3 damage dice on a melee attack and 4 on the explosion should they move. Level 8 wizards gain our final ability score improvement. Cap off dex for better skills with a pistol and Dark Saber. For your new spells, Dispel Magic lets you end spell effects on a creature or object within 120 feet. Works like Counterspell, and like Counterspell doesn't make sense for you but works really well with this build. Stoneskin improves your Beskar even more. Now for 1 hour while you maintain the spell, you have resistance to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage. Level 9 wizards gain 5th level spells. For your spells, Hold Monster is an upgraded version of Hold Person but can now target any creature, not just a person. Magic Weapon turns one non-magical weapon into a magical one, adding +1 to the attack and damage while you maintain this spell for 1 hour. Our final level is level 10 Wizards, and Wizards of the War School now have Durable Magic. While you maintain a spell, you gain +2 to your AC in all saving throws, meaning your AC is 21 when you have the Dark Saber or are flying around. For your final spell, Knock will let you blast open any locked object within 60 feet. Now, this will not actually blast a door open, but it sure as hell is going to sound like it, as an audible blast can be heard for 300 feet. If the locked object has Arcane Lock on it, the lock is suspended for 10 minutes. Nothing is getting between Grogu and you. Arcane Lock makes it harder to open doors by adding 10 to the lock's DC or to break it. You also receive 1 more cantrip. Go wild and have fun. Time to look at this build. You got damn fine Beskar armor. It has a standard AC of 19, but can go upwards of 26. It can also increase your saving throws by +4, can be resistant to non-magical damage, and you can sneak around in it. Your attacks are amazing. You're able to add magical damage to your pistol. You can fire multiple blaster shots of varying damage. Your standard blaster is 4d10 at 120 feet. You can cause explosions. Your initiative is +10 +1d8. You have attacks that auto hit at range, and finally you have the Dark Saber that can be bumped up to 4d8 psychic damage. Finally, your utility capabilities are indispensable. You can fly, paralyze creatures, locate them, can detect magic, get past locked doors, and you can fortify positions with either air superiority or spells that make it harder to get to you. Downside: first and foremost, concentration spells. You have a lot of them and they're all good. Can't use more than 1 at a time though, so choose carefully. Your AC is great, which is good because your health is terrible with only 120 HP taking the average. Wizards don't lend well to health. This build is a stand your ground character. Hold the line with high AC and help your team advance with all your weapons and skills. If you're a fan of Star Wars, check out my Star Wars playlist and unleash the fury of Starkiller or control the hearts and minds of those weaker than you with Emperor Palpatine. Remember, requests are open at all times by emailing gonzo63rd@gmail.com. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a new build each week, and ring that bell to always receive notifications.